All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode, and this week, I think I'm finally going to be right for once. I think we're actually going to have a short podcast episode. It was kind of a slow week, but I think we have some fun things to talk about. So, first thing we're going to talk about is DUPR reliability rating. I have like a small rant. I want to talk about this. There was actually another comment that kind of inspired this, but it's definitely something I've thought about before. And then we're also going to talk about the Luzz paddles. So these kind of started getting some like buzz seemingly out of nowhere, and we just got them, and there's definitely some interesting talking points about those. And then after that, we're going to talk about what our top favorite paddles are right now that we would take to a tournament, regardless of price, regardless of durability. Literally just, if the paddle was fine, here's what we would play with. And then in the kitchen, going to talk a little bit about just some lessons I've learned from tournaments that if you're a tournament player, you might want to know, might save you some headache. So first thing, the question of the week, which is related to tournaments. Do you play tournaments? Why or why not? Let me know down in the comments below. And then related, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who's been giving support on the Chasing 5-0 series. I knew it was going to take a couple episodes before people kind of probably got what the vision of this was and, you know, where is this going? Is it even going to be a consistent thing? Unlike the last time I tried this. But the last episode got a ton of great feedback. I even had people stopping me at a Lifetime, and they were like, dude, love this series. Like, you got to keep doing this. This is awesome. So I was like, thanks. So appreciate it, guys. Those are a lot of work, both to actually train for and to actually shoot and edit. So sometimes it's just nice to know that people actually like them.
It's been good. It's been looking good.
Yeah.
But first of all, actually real quick, I just want to go rewind and go back and say, look, your track record on being right about short pods is not good. Look, if we have 100 years of evidence that it's going to snow a lot here in Minnesota, I'd put my whole life savings that it's going to snow. Your track record on short pods has not been good. I'd put a lot of money.
I'm saying this pod's under an hour. That's my guess.
Ooh, okay.
Under an hour is my guess.
I got to talk a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is this DUPR thing. So DUPR has a reliability rating that can range from 1 to 100. The lower that number is, the less confident DUPR is in your rating. Obviously, the higher it is, they feel very confident that that is what your true rating is. So to me, that number is important because if you haven't played a tournament in over a year, maybe you got worse, or not even necessarily worse, but if you didn't play a lot in that time, everyone else got better. So your 4 or 5 rating, everyone else might have a 4 or 5. Let's say 3 years, just because 1 year it's probably not going. But the floor for 4 or 5 could have changed. Like 4 or 5 3 years ago is not the same as 4 or 5 today.
Agreed.
Right. So to me, that matters. Or you could even be better, right? Like we know people who had a really low DUPR, they had low reliability rating, they played a tournament and went through the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of those things can be true. But I almost feel like this would both be a good thing for pickleball and probably a bad thing. I think there's pros and cons to what I'm about to talk about. So to me, if your DUPR rating is below 60, or your reliability rating is below 60, don't even talk to me about your DUPR. Don't even come to me and be like, I'm a 5.2. Don't play that game with me. I don't want to hear it if you're below 60, okay? And especially as you go below 20, if you're a 1, I'm sorry. I'm just not, unless I see you play, I'm not taking your DUPR to mean anything. You could be worse. You could be better.
That's valid for people that you don't know. But what about like friends that we do know that just haven't played tournaments in a while, and you know they're 5.2, 5.1?
Well, that one's easier because I can actually play with them and know. But the reason I want to talk about this and why I think it's relevant is because we know people, and I'm sure there's tons of people out in this country who do this, that let's say they played like 1 or 2 tournaments. And this doesn't even necessarily have to be people we know, because in our crowd, a lot of people play tournaments. So this is less of an issue, I would say, with tournament goers.
But we do know people.
We do know people.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, we definitely know people. But like, let's say you get an inflated DUPR. Let's say you were a 4.0 player and you just went to a PPA qualifier and played, and maybe you got a couple points, and DUPR's like, yeah, I mean, first tournament, like this guy's like maybe a 4.8, maybe he's even a 5.0. You get a boosted DUPR, now you can go play in like whatever league you want, because 5.0 is high enough for probably any league across the country. And those people refuse to play tournaments because they've got the DUPR that they need. So they're like, I'm good. But we know these people aren't actually that DUPR.
100%.
They either got carried, they got boosted somehow, whatever. Or, you know, I even know people who out like from long time ago. They haven't played tournaments in, probably 2.5 years. And I'm looking at the rating and I'm like, you were never this rating. Like, I've known your skill level the whole time. You were for sure never a 5-0.
Yeah.
Like, definitely not. So I just think there almost needs to be something that once you drop below a certain threshold, either your rating is like hidden, or like maybe clubs are like, hey, you know what? Like, if you want to be in this DUPR league, you've got to have a higher reliability rating. And now the reason I say this could cause problems, like, I fully recognize that this could be there are a lot of people who don't play tournaments, right? There are people who probably play in some of these things, and let's say it's a DUPR verified league, but they don't actually enter scores into DUPR. It's just like, hey, your DUPR has to be this or whatever. I can see where this would cause problems, right? If you don't play tournaments, it's going to be hard to keep the reliability rating high.
For sure. So
for those people, I could see it being really frustrating. But I just always find it funny when people are like, yeah, bro, I'm a 5'3", and I'm looking at their DUPR and I'm like, shut up. Shut up. You don't talk to me about 5'3" with a 1 reliability. Go play a tournament and show me you're still a 5'3". Yeah, there's so many stories of like people doing crazy things with DUPR to like, try and cheat or get higher to like get into a league or something. And to me, I'm just like, dude, like at the end of the day, just go get better. Look, I'm not saying it's a perfect system. I'm not saying that there aren't things that could probably be unfair in certain situations.
Definitely not a perfect system, that's for sure.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, practice, get better, you will probably go up. It's like, when people, we talked about it a little bit last week, but people saying like, oh, I'm stuck in this skill group and I can't get better because everyone else in the group is bad, and like that's the reason I can't play better. And I'm like, look, if you're in a 3-2-5 league, you think a 4-0 couldn't show up in there and just like carry himself to a win in like almost every game?
Yeah. Well, it's a perfect example. We had that one league at the facility your wife works at, and it was an up and down the river league. And after a few weeks, it would filter itself, and you would get to the court where your skill level matches.
Yeah.
And anytime I would drop down a quarter or two, or if you didn't show up for a few weeks, they would drop you down. When that would happen and I go down, I would instantly work my way back up. And yeah, I wouldn't complain about having 3 or 4 other bad people because I was able to carry myself back up to those courts, and they would stay there, and I would always go back up to the courts where I would normally be at. So it's like,
the league was always very sorting.
100%. Yeah, it would work itself out. Like, it was arranged kind of by DUPR at the start, but some people weren't always placed in the right spot, or if, they didn't really know who you were, you'd kind of get put lower. But if you started low, I started pretty low at one point and just went right up toward the top. So
I just think like the thing that I always come back to, and I feel like this is probably just a mindset I've had about a lot of things in life, is playing the victim card for a lot of things. At some point, it's like, dude, it's up to you to figure this thing out. Like, you can't blame everyone else around you.
And it's like, what good does it do?
It doesn't help you. It doesn't get you where you want to be by
exactly.
complaining.
It doesn't do any good. If you actually want to be in that league or have that DUPR, like you want to have a 5-0 DUPR,
you better get out there and drill.
You're drilling, you're training, you're going to tournaments, you're doing everything you can. Like, that is what you need to do if you actually want to get to what you want.
Yeah.
Now, might not always work.
Yeah.
In your case, might not actually get 5-0. Might not actually.
If I don't hit 5-0, I'm going to question everything I know about pickleball. I'll be very sad at the end of this year. I'll be very sad. Short of me breaking a leg, which prevents me from drilling.
Oh, dude,
it better happen.
Suck.
It better happen. That'd be terrible.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think people care too much. My DUPR's gone up and down. It was higher. It's tanked recently. I don't care that much.
I think when it comes to DUPR is it's fine to care about it in like, hey, I have a goal to hit this thing. But I think where it becomes a problem for a lot of people is like, let's say they have a tournament where it just like it dipped kind of heavy. Like, let's say you dropped like 0.15 or something, and maybe you were a 4-0 and now you're below 4-0. Like, I find that a lot of people view DUPR as like their entire identity. Like, that number is like them as a person. And when that number is not what they want it to be, they're like, I mean, people don't actually say this, but effectively the way I read it from them is they're like, I'm a bad person, or like, no, like I'm
the
bad.
way they act.
Yeah, I'm just like,
it's like, dude, I swear I'm a 4-0. Like, it just dropped recently, but I swear.
Yeah,
like,
it just gets really intense. And I just think it doesn't need to be that serious.
Yeah.
I think it's totally fine to have a goal, like I want to hit a 5-0 DUPR. Will I be disappointed if I don't hit it? Yeah, but ultimately, am I going to sit there and be like, if you're like, Crazy's a 4'9", he's not a 5, like, I'm not going to sit there and care.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just, I don't know. Your whole identity doesn't need to be wrapped up in DUPR. This is the PSA for everyone. We can all calm down a little bit. It's fine. Doesn't have to be your whole identity. Let's not get mad about it.
I saw a hilarious video recently on Instagram where this person like prank calls people. Like you can email or message them to have them prank call someone else.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And the message was like, hey,
with a husband.
Yeah, the husband was like, my wife cares way too much about her DUPR.
Yeah.
And she has two, one with a higher one with a lower one. Call her as like pretending to be DUPR corporate and tell her that like this is against the rules and you're cheating, you're gonna delete. She lost her mind, got so upset, like hung up the phone. Like it was just so funny. You could tell like she cared so much about it. To be fair,
that one, though, the only thing I'll give credit to that person for is the way that the prank caller came off was pretty strong.
It was pretty aggressive, like
was
calling him out.
It was almost less about the DUPR and just like it came off really hot.
It was, yeah.
It was like, oh, you're a cheater, you're a bad person. Like it was pretty aggressive.
It was pretty bad, but at the same time, like it was pretty funny. So I just, don't care as much as people do.
And going back to the original main topic of this with, low reliability, whenever I see someone like that I feel is trying to protect it by not playing in tournaments because they like the number that it is or whatever, I'm like, if you really believe you're that number, why don't you just go in a tournament and prove it? Why don't you just go show me you're still that number?
True.
Like
it would stay up there if it was.
Yeah, it always sorts itself out eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like I look at my DUPR, I've played all around the country. Like I've experienced whatever California is, Florida, Texas, whatever state you want to say is good at pickleball. I've played pickleball with them. I've probably played DUPR events there. Yep. Like it sorts itself out eventually.
Yeah. No, you can't be pulling this. Oh, well, that's 3-5 in my area. No, we've played everywhere.
Yeah, and I will for the rest of the year be playing all over the country. So
true.
I don't know. A lot of fun. I just thought that was an interesting topic with reliability. Maybe my thought on that would truly cause like way more. Like when I really sit down and think about it, if I zoom out here really quick, the amount of problems it causes by having a low reliability and people not playing tournaments probably isn't that big of an issue. It's more like in my head, I'm like, we need to humble these people. They need an ego check.
It's just a very, not even loud, but it's just, there's just
a small group and it doesn't even really cause problems. That's the thing is when I really look at this, I'm like, okay, it probably hurts more people by trying to enforce a strict reliability rating. Like I said, the people who don't play tournaments, that might like really frustrate them. Like maybe they worked hard to get in a league and then they got in and...
Well, I think what it does affect is when you have leagues or essentially private groups and events where you have to have a certain rating to get in, and you allow some of these people in who either are kind of skirting the line or have inflated DUPRs, and then that kind of ruins it for the rest of the people in that league or group. Yeah. And we've had that happen here a bunch, and then complaints start rolling in, and then the people who are actually that rating or higher in that group stop showing up, and then it kind of just ceases to exist. And that's happened multiple times.
And that happens across all levels. I've heard, from
it's not just
leagues.
Like the levels we play are 5-0. It's 5-0, 4-5, 4-0, everywhere. Doesn't matter what it is.
Someone's always like, hey, this person shouldn't be in this league.
Exactly. And whether it's true or not, like it happens and it's frustrating. And so that's, I think, where it actually like plays some roller effect.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. Let me know down below.
I'm sure we probably just offended thousands of people.
Don't have a one reliability, bro. Don't have a one reliability.
I agree.
Don't have a one reliability. All right, let's move on to main topics here, which is some paddles.
Paddles.
All right, we're talking about these Luzz paddles. So let me grab these. All right. So here's what's kind of funny about this whole
this brand, man.
Yeah, I just don't even know where to start with this. Okay. So these are not going to stand up at all. So we're going to show these for a brief second, and then we're going to set these down. Not that there's that much to look at. They're mostly blacked out paddles. But okay, these Luzz paddles. So here's what's really funny about these. I think they sent me some paddles, I don't even know, like close to a year ago or something. I can't even remember. Honestly, I think it was like a year ago. I don't remember. But we hit them. We talked about them on one pod, and I remember one comment that was like, bro, why are you talking about this like random brand no one's asked about, no one cares about? And I was like, well, fair point.
It was like the Archer, right?
Yeah, the Luzz Archer and like something else. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fair point. I was like, looking at this brand, it's kind of random. Like
No one talked about them.
Yeah, nothing. It was just very random. And so then all of a sudden these just started catching a bunch of noise. Like there's 3 paddles. There's the Cannon, the Inferno, and then the Tornazo.
One of the worst named paddles of all time.
Yeah, I don't really understand that name. And also it says like, what is that? PBAZ core? PEBAZ core?
Yeah.
That's kind of random. But so, okay, these paddles are pretty legit. And I almost hate how legit they are.
It pains us to say it. It hurts to admit that they're actually pretty good.
I wasn't sure what to expect going in. I know like Lewis has talked about the Cannon a bunch. I keep seeing Instagram
Everyone's
ads.
been talking about the Cannon. It's everywhere. I think CJ was using it for that one PPA where everyone couldn't use their paddles.
Yep.
Yeah, a ton of people were using it. So it's everywhere. Yeah, and for some reason they're UPA approved.
We're going to go over this a couple ways. We're going to start with the Cannon, then the Inferno, then the Tornazo. Then we're going to talk about like why this brand is like the most confusing brand I've ever seen in pickleball.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Cannon because that's probably the one that I think in general is going to get the most attention. So it's $109 before a code. After a code, it's $99. I think PB Studio works now. I think they set one up for me. But so it's $100 Gen 3 paddle. The ring, I'll pop up x-rays. Full credit to John Q. He gave these to me right before the pod just so I could verify what they looked like. But those are not my x-rays. Thank you, John. And the Cannon, it's a full EVA ring around the entire core, kind of like an 11.624 goes around the entire thing. But it's a polymer core, Gen 3 style paddle. To my knowledge, I believe it has like the thermoformed edge ring as well. And it also does the same thing as like an 11.624 where it has like the carbon fiber strips that run like at the edge of the paddle.
Yep.
Also it has a 1-year warranty, which is kind of insane for a $99 Gen 3 paddle.
That is kind of wild.
So I take this paddle out the other day. And like I said, going in, I really didn't have any expectation. I wasn't sure what to expect. It also only comes in one shape. It's an elongated paddle. There's no hybrid. There's no wide body. It's a longer handle, kind of like a carbon 1 shape. And it's very good. I was shocked how good it was. Like, if this tells you anything, I don't even play elongated paddles. I could take that to a tournament tomorrow and feel fine. Like, I wouldn't even probably feel like I was held back.
Yeah.
It's just good. I mean, it's not only if this paddle, like, let's say Yola made the same exact paddle. People would eat it up. I mean, it's in the realm of a Yola.
Oh, yeah. If Yola made this, charged $280, same thing, 1-year warranty, it would be everywhere and people would love it.
Yeah.
Like, every 5-0 tournament, you'd see it everywhere. Like, it'd be all over the place. It's a very good paddle, good sweet spot. Power is definitely up there. Yeah.
I mean, it is literally just a Pro 4 competitor with a slightly different feel. Personally, I like the feel a little bit more, but it's what I would say in regards to that is that that's just going to be subjective, right? You can't say the Cannon is inherently better because of the feel or worse. Some people, like the way I would describe it is the Pro 4 to me feels a little bit like stiffer, a little bit more harsh, but like some people really love that like connected feedback. Whereas on the Cannon, it's like, it feels like it like sinks in a little bit more, or like the ball feel at contact
slightly
is like a
more
little
muted,
softer, like springier.
Yep.
Almost. But I think in overall terms of like pop, power, they're going to be very similar. Like as we were hitting them this morning, I wasn't like, oh man, like, wow, the Cannon hits so much harder than the Pro 4, or the Pro 4 hits so much harder. So to me, I'm like, if you can get essentially like a Perseus at 1/3 the price and you're not super attached to that like stiffer feel of the Pro 4, then I'm like, yeah, you might as well just buy this, especially since it's dual certified. Like if you're one of those higher level guys, which a lot of people are playing Yola in general, but if you're one of those guys that plays qualifiers and you're like, oh, I need a cheap one, boom.
This is like designed for the qualifier people. It's budget, it's cheap, high performance, 1-year warranty, UPA approved.
It's like the only budget paddle you're going to find in that UPA list.
Yeah. I can't think of another $100 UPA approved paddle.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So the Cannon, very good. I don't think I've been this surprised in a while. And like like I didn't want to be. When we get to the brand stuff, you'll understand why I didn't want to be surprised, but like you can't deny it's a great paddle.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can objectively say this is not good.
Typically, it's interesting. Typically, I don't like Gen 3 paddles that have the full circumference EVA foam ring around the whole core. I haven't really liked those that much, but this one was good. I did like this one quite a bit. Like, yeah, it's the same thing. I could go to a tournament tomorrow and play with that and be just fine.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
I can't imagine if you put weight on this thing. It's already good. Like, I didn't even feel like you need a weight.
Oh, I'd definitely put weight on it.
Yeah, but you put weight on everything.
That's true.
So, okay, that's the Canon. Very good, $99. The like budget paddle awards this year is going to be ridiculous. I feel like
there's too many options. There's so many options.
It's too many. Now we're going to talk about the Inferno. This is an also very interesting one.
Pro 4 Inferno.
Okay, which we're going to come back to that, but this paddle's called the Pro 4 Inferno. If that kind of tells you where we're going with the branding being a little off here, yeah, could you?
It's a bit of a hint.
Yeah, honestly, they would have made more sense for the Canon to be called the Pro 4 Canon.
Yeah.
But they definitely did that as like a, hey, Pro 4 is synonymous with good. Let's just add that to our paddle.
Yep.
We'll come back to that. Okay, the Inferno is $229 on their website, but after a code, it's $194. So, basically about $200. So
right around 200.
Reasonable price. The paddle that's going to be easily the most compared to is the Bread and Butter Loco.
Yeah.
Very similar to that, but I would say if you just took the Loco and turned it up a notch. But what's also interesting is, so like, first thing you're going to notice about this paddle, if you bounce a ball on it, is the most loud thonk, core crushed, broken,
hollow, whatever word you could use to describe a broken paddle.
That's what this sounds like.
But it's not broken.
To our knowledge. We can't say that for sure, but
okay,
as far as based on how it's built, I would like to think, I don't know what would be broken.
Yeah.
But it's if someone heard this at a facility or a tournament and didn't know what it was, they'd be like, bro, that guy's paddle's broken.
100%.
Like, it's very loud.
It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's very satisfying, though.
Even my wife, she got them first because she like got to mess with it before I did, and she was like, this thing sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
It's crazy.
So the build of it, though, is it's actually, instead of an EPP foam core, could have sworn I thought this one was EPP. Their website, which again is very confusing, claims it's an MPP center core, full EVA ring around the paddle, looks like how the Loco is built. Does also have the carbon fiber strip on the side. And then I want to say, I don't know this for sure because it's really hard to tell from the X-ray, so I'm basing this off of their images on the website. I think this also has the thermoformed ring around the whole thing, which a lot of the foam core paddles don't have. So that is one differentiator with this one. But I mean, this also was a very good paddle. The thing that I think I would say is like, which I guess, again, we keep saying we'll get to it, but like, I feel like most people would probably be better off buying a Loco for a couple reasons. One, the brand is based in the US, so I think warranties are going to be a lot easier. Warranty with Luzz, as we'll get to here soon, I have no idea. This brand's reputation, I really couldn't tell you that much about it. Brand new, definitely seems to be a brand from China, which is not inherently a bad thing. I just want to be clear, but like that's going to cause some complications with warranty and like how these things work. I don't know how responsive they're going to be. Every email I've gotten from them is always on China time. The emails have Chinese in them. So that's why I think like if this plays similar to a Loco, you can get a Loco cheaper in the US. The warranty is going to be easier to deal with and it's cheaper. But if you really wanted like the Loco to be turned up and that extra power and pop was important to you, then you'd have to go with the Inferno.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say is I took my wide body Loco, which I've added 10 grams of weight to, a little higher than like how the boomstick would be. And as soon as I put that weight on it, the sound got a lot like louder and like thonkier, if you want to use that. That's the word for this week's pod, by the way, thonkier.
Thonk.
No, thonkier.
Thonkier.
THONKIER. Thonkier. That's funny. Okay, but once I did that, the sound becomes a lot closer to what the Inferno is. So like I took our elongated Loco, which has no weight on it currently, completely stock, and it sounds like a more normal paddle, but then my wide body sounds like a lot closer to
the Locos
Inferno.
do change quite a bit once you put weight on them.
Yeah, the sound
of them
goes up.
Yeah,
quite a bit. So I think with weight, it probably becomes a little bit more comparable, but I still think this probably edges it out in terms of pop and power.
Besides the fact that, yes, these paddles do perform well, this is that the Canon being extremely cheap and good. Like, there's a lot of things good about them, but the only thing that I care about that makes them even significantly relevant to me is the fact that they are UPA approved.
Yeah.
That is the only reason that I care in the slightest about these paddles.
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that there's a chance I use this in the next qualifier I play.
It definitely, even just like looking at the graphics of this, it just looks like something
The Canon is the only one that...
Because you can't see anything.
Exactly. The only one that I like how it looks is because it's fully blacked out. I hate how these paddles look. I just can't.
They definitely look cheap.
It's very clip art, like just bad design. But who cares about that when they perform well?
I mean, and for you specifically, the Inferno would be the, like, you are already planning to use Loco Boomstick. Loco and Boomstick are definitely different paddles. There's some things in terms of like, I mean, the Boomstick has more pop and power, but
they
like
have similarities, but they're definitely different.
Yeah, for sure. And so, but with the Inferno being UPA approved, this is so much closer to the Loco that I don't think the transition would even be hard for you.
Way closer. Yeah. I could go from Loco to the Inferno, have my eyes closed, and be totally fine.
Yeah. So like in that way, it, for qualifier people, like if they ended up like really loving a Loco, you could use an Inferno and be fine.
And these also have 1 year warranty?
You know, I'm actually not. I'll look that up.
Okay.
I can't imagine that it doesn't. That would be kind of crazy.
So the Inferno, like you said, very much similar to a Loco, but just turn things up, pop, power, sound, literally everything.
It is 1 year just to,
okay.
It's 1 year.
Nice.
Oh, interesting. I guess they also have a thing you can purchase for $30, which extends the warranty to 2 years. Most people probably don't need to do that, but it is an option.
Interesting. But it's very similar even in like feel and responsiveness off the face to the Loco. But then the Tornazo, and if you don't like that like kind of slow, sinking, springy feel, the Tornazo is much stiffer and almost Pro 4-esque. Like it's much quicker response time
than the Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to be the same price, the Tornazo and the Inferno. They're both $194 after a code. It's the Tornazo, looking at the X-ray, there's no gap around the foam ring and the core. And they also don't say what foam they're using. I would have to imagine it's EPP, but they don't clarify, so I don't know. But basically...
No, it's PBAS.
Yeah, PBAS core. Jeez. But basically the difference if you're going to consider an Inferno or a Tornazo is basically what you said. Like the Tornazo is just stiffer, and it's not, also doesn't have the crazy sound that the Inferno has.
True.
So to me, it's just stiffer versus like less stiff.
Yep.
Is really what it comes down to.
Do you want a slightly more muted, which I don't even really feel like that applies to this paddle, but just a plusher feel versus a stiffer, quicker response feel?
Both of us, I would say we like the Inferno more.
Yeah, I would definitely lean more towards the Inferno.
I haven't gotten both are good, but
yes, both are good, but the Inferno's closer to what I prefer. I have to put weight on it once because we didn't get stats on these, did we?
No, we haven't grabbed it, but I think it's on the website. I want to say the elongateds are like around like swing weight 118, 119, twist weight was maybe like 6'1".
Pretty standard elongated.
It's pretty standard elongated.
It's
stats.
not like the V-Soles or the Quanta where it's super light and it needs weight. Like they play well stock.
Also, again, only one shape. Yep. All elongated, carbon 1 style, Isaac shape.
Luzz, at least they got me there. Like I'll give Luzz some respect for at least knowing what shape's good. So I'll give him that. But I think once I put some weight on it, it'll be even a lot better. But it's good as is without weight.
Yeah, I think it could be played stock. And for me to say that on an elongated paddle is not a common thing.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of times elongateds definitely need the extra stability. So, okay, that's kind of the performance of the paddles. There's really no issue there. I think they perform well. I will say that, again, this brand is newer. The stuff we're about to get into makes it, like, more confusing.
It's really odd.
We don't know the QC. Like, there's so many, like, little flags going off when I look at this that I'm like, look, it might be awesome. Everything could be good. But I'm just saying, if you're going to consider this, go in just knowing no one really knows yet. Like, the X-rays on the Canon look good. Core doesn't look crushed.
I will say, though, giving it my old Isaac handle rating test, I'll give them a solid 7.8.
Wait, let me see this one.
It's pretty solid. It's not bad.
It is a
the overgrip, or I guess undergrip that they put on it is kind of squishy, but the actual handle underneath is solid.
I don't think it's a hard pallet though.
I thought I took this one off the other day and it was.
Oh, really? But then this must be an extremely squishy grip, because like normally when I press, like press into that, like that doesn't stop like the Loco.
Huh. I'll have to look at these again. But it's not bad. Maybe it is foam, and maybe foam pallets are getting better. But
it's definitely a firmer foam.
It's not the best handle I've felt, but I'll take this over a boomstick handle.
Interesting. Okay. All right, let's get to some of the weird stuff here. So if you go to their website, it definitely looks like, I mean, images all over the website are weird. Phrasings all over the website are weird. Like, first of all, the pricing. Every paddle you look at says it's on sale. So like the Inferno, the Tornazo, they all say they're $250. But then they're like, it's $229 because it's on sale. And then you can take even more off with a code. So like one of those websites where it's like everything is permanently on sale all the time. There is no actual sale. It's just what the actual price of the paddle is. So there's that. That's already a little bit weird, but whatever, I can get over it. Also, the pricing is just a little weird-ish to me. Like you have the Canon, like they went super budget, like, hey, let's go compete with a Pro 4 at $100. And then these, they were like, but let's be more expensive than like a bread and butter Loco at $230. Like, I just don't really understand it's like, do you want to be like a more premium brand, or do you want to be a cheaper brand? Like, pick one.
They want to be both.
I guess.
Have both options.
I mean, that's still not a bad price. Like $200 after a code, that's fine. But it's just
for how they perform. Yeah.
Agreed. Then after that, like we said before, having Pro 4 on the paddle, come on.
It's a pretty obvious, like, blatant copy.
Let's try and be Yola as much as we can, but our paddle isn't actually anything like a Yola.
At least it doesn't say Pro 5.
That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. But yeah, Pro 4, like, they didn't have multiple iterations. That was like a Pro 1, Pro 2, Pro 3, to my knowledge. And so Pro 4, that just seems like, okay, we're trying to knock off Yola.
Yep.
Then looking at one of the paddles, instead of saying raw carbon fiber, it says raw carbon fabric. They call the texture ultrafine waterfall texture. Not that companies haven't used weird marketing, but like, what does that mean? Ultrafine waterfall? What is that?
That's just, I hate the marketing jargon.
Then on the Canon spec page, the dimensions actually show as illegal. So it says that it's 16.53 by 7.48. So that would put it 0.01 over the legal allowable dimensions. Now, maybe there's a typo. Maybe they meant to say 16.52 or 7.47. But it reads as over. Now, granted, it passed, right? I know that UPA is pretty strict about their dimensions rules, and I know USAP does dimensions as well. So, like, it passed. But I'm just saying it's weird that you have that typo on the website.
I agree.
Okay? Then, again, like I said, all my emails, all the responses are on China time. All the emails have Chinese in them. Not inherently a bad thing, but it's like, to me, it just shows this is not a company in the US. You're dealing with a company in China.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine, but you should just know that. And then also this part was just weird to me, but then you told me that they actually have licenses for this.
That's what I haven't found anything to make it look like it's not the official licensing.
But they have a Kung Fu Panda collab cannon paddle, and then they have a Despicable Me collab cannon paddle coming out. So it's just like, what? There's the most random thing ever. Kung Fu Panda and Despicable Me.
It is really odd. But I will say the Kung Fu Panda thing is kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
I guess. And then the cherry on top, like we've already said, is it's like, okay, you've got all these like weird flags. And then the most like legit flag it has is that it's dual certified. Because we know brands that are more legit that don't have dual certification.
That part is just crazy to me. They clearly, whoever's the owner of this brand clearly just has a ton of money and is willing to just throw money at making pickleball paddles. And they're like, oh, it's $100,000 to certify UPA paddles? Okay, sure, whatever.
It's just so confusing. Like, it's like, if this was like anything else, if the paddles played 30% worse, 40% worse, no one would talk about this brand.
That's a lot.
But
I think any paddles that perform 30 or 40% worse than this, no one would talk about.
But I just think like if you were like 10%, okay, well the paddle's still pretty good. 20%, like yeah, maybe now we're getting into territory. But like it's so good that it's like it's hard to ignore it, and the fact that it's got the dual certification. But everything else is like,
and they have a good budget option.
Yeah, but I would like view so many of these things as red flags otherwise.
100%.
Like
good warranty.
Yeah.
Cheap. Good performance, dual certified, like every box you can check is checked, except for the fact that they're kind of ugly, except for the Canon. Yeah, it's just the whole brand is just so odd.
Yeah,
is the only way I can describe it. It's just odd.
So first impressions, guys, paddles are legit. They play great, in my opinion. The Canon and the Inferno are awesome. Again, the Inferno, like I feel like a Loco just makes more sense for people in the US. Unless, again, you need the dual certification, then, yeah, the Inferno would be a great option.
Yeah.
And then the Canon, I think most people, that's probably what they'd be interested in. Like, if you're like, hey, I don't want to spend $300 on a Yola, and you were going to buy a Perseus shape, then boom.
Luzz, if you're listening to this, can you send me an Inferno that's blacked out like a Canon?
Or just, like, make it red, like an Inferno.
Yeah, a non-gradient, please.
Isaac might have to play with a gradient paddle.
I hate
That'll
that.
make my heart sing.
I hate that so much.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, that's enough about these. We'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, I haven't been that surprised in a long time.
Yeah, those are very shocking.
Next up, we've had this paddle for a while, and we just figured we should probably finally take this thing out and hit it. But Ace Pickleball, I think their website's acepickleball.co. They released a Gen 3 paddle that, to my knowledge, is the cheapest Gen 3 that you can buy. It lists as $60 on the website, but I believe shipping is $10, so it's $70 effectively. So a $70 Gen 3, about as cheap as it's going to get. Now, playing them this morning, I think the paddle, for $70, you're not going to complain about performance. If someone said, like, what is one of the cheapest, best performing paddles you could recommend, I could tell them this with no problem. Now, if I had to choose myself between the Canon and this, I'm personally going to choose the Canon.
Yeah.
The shape is also a little closer to like a Magnus, like slightly shorter handle. Maybe not quite as short, but it's not quite, I feel like, a real 5.5 inch handle. I don't know. I don't think I really have a lot of notes on this. Like, I think it is a good paddle for $70. I just think that if you are fine going up like $30 more, you're like Quanta, Vsol, Canon.
You get way more options, and it feels like there's less corners cut. Like this paddle, the grip is extremely cheap.
Yeah.
Like it's terrible. This is one of the worst stock grips
slippery.
I've ever felt. Now, is that a big deal? No, it can easily be replaced.
Yeah,
it's not that big a deal.
That.
But like this edge guard feels very cheap. Like it feels like edge guards from 2-3 years ago. They've just gotten a lot better. It has sharp edges, which has been a huge complaint of mine recently with paddles, because I'm actually starting to rip up the skin on my left hand from hitting tuies, and it's just uncomfortable. I just feel like if you're really, really, really budget conscious,
which if you listen to this podcast, I feel like you're probably not that budget conscious, but
exactly.
Maybe you are, but maybe.
Who knows? I think it's fine, and I do think there's quite a bit less performance, in my opinion. I know you don't quite feel the same, than versus like the Canon, or again, if you go up $30, rest of those paddles.
I think if you were going to take players like you, I feel like if I took 10 players like you and gave them a Canon or the Ace, I would say I'd wager 7 to 8, maybe even 9 out of those people are picking the Canon over this, because I think they want that extra aggressiveness. But I do think that this paddle is good. Like if someone came and said, hey, I got a friend getting into pickleball, they just really need something cheap that's pretty solid, I could tell them this.
Yeah. Now, the only other downside, again, is, well, do you know the warranty on it? I don't know if
I'll go look that up. Thank you for reminding me.
It might not have as good of a warranty as, say, the Canon or maybe a Vsol. I don't have stats on it, but I felt okay stock. It is definitely like a stiffer feel, and I do think the sweet spot is a bit smaller than, say, the Canon.
I'd agree with that. It's only 90 days on this, so 3 months. Okay. So, I mean, again, that's where it's like I feel like that's where it could fit some beginners decently well, but then again, it's like, does a beginner need a Gen 3 paddle? But it's like, okay, at 90 days versus 1 year on the Canon. But you also have to factor in how hard is it going to be to get the warranty on the Canon.
Right.
It might be hard. It might be easy. We don't know.
True.
True. Yeah, I don't know. It's like an interesting spot. Like I think the paddle plays fine. I just think $20 extra wouldn't be the biggest stretch in the world for most people.
I agree.
So yeah, anyways, that's the Ace Spade. It's just, again, I think when you can go $20 more, it makes it kind of hard to like really recommend it, but I don't think it's bad by any means. It's totally
I don't
fine.
think it's bad, but even though it is like the cheapest option, I don't think it's the best option.
Yeah, I'd agree. So, all right, let's move on to one of the main things we really wanted to talk about was what are our top paddles right now? Like, what are we going to a tournament with? There are a lot of times where I see people say like, look, I don't really care about budget. I just want to know what you would actually take to a tournament, regardless of money, regardless of durability. Now, in my opinion, I think all of those things are really important, right? Durability to me seems pretty important unless you've literally just got cash to blow and you don't care, or, warranty or whatever. But we're going to talk about it. These are the paddles that, like, if we had to, we take them. My list personally isn't in order. I don't know if yours is. I'm just going to go like these paddles. I'd be
just
fine.
Threw them around.
Yeah.
Do you want to go one back and forth?
Sure. Let's go one back and forth. And then I'll get my first one. So, first easy one, I literally just played a tournament with it, and I probably will play Virginia Beach with it.
Ooh.
Is the Loco.
Okay.
Yeah.
B&B Loco.
Yep.
Well, that makes it easy because I think we all knew this was coming.
We knew yours was going to be.
My top one was the B&B Loco. It's such a good paddle.
Yeah.
Like, we've already talked about it so much.
Yeah.
And I've said so many good things about it. Like, I just can't say enough good stuff about it.
I don't think on my bingo card, I didn't have two things on my bingo card. One, B&B in the year 2025. Look, their paddles have always been fine. People could be competitive with them, but it was always, I would say, a step behind what you could get from other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was, I'd say, objectively better performing paddles, or maybe even cheaper, objectively better performing paddles. But this is the first time that I feel like they have a paddle that is like so performance oriented that I don't think you could take like any high level player outside of preference and they'd be like, this isn't good enough. I think the performance is good enough for any high level player. And I feel like that's kind of what they were missing before.
I know Ryan DeWidgeon has been rocking the Loco and he's been loving it lately. And he's been drilling and playing with pros. He's had Hunter and Yates Johnson over there playing with them. So yeah, it's a really good paddle in every metric, comes in all three shapes.
Which I think that's a pretty big win.
Yeah, being able to come in all three shapes, has great sweet spot. It doesn't need weight, but plays, I think, better with weight. Everything about it is great.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
Makes sense why it's both top of our list.
I know we're going to differ on this one. Next for me, Rhombus Quanta.
Yeah, that's not on my list.
Yeah, it's once for me, the 15 grams on it on the R2, plenty good enough for me to play with. I do think that at times it can be a little probably poppier than I'd prefer. Can be a little harder for me to control than like say the Loco or something. But I think I could dial that in. I just don't know that I need that much pop right now. But I like that paddle a lot. I think it's objectively very good. And if you forced me into a tournament with it, I would be fine.
I definitely don't. I don't think it's a bad paddle, and that's not why it's not on my list. I just don't think I would actually use it in a tournament because after using it for a while, even with weight, I just ended up not liking the sweet spot of that paddle and its response. So I think objectively it's a good paddle, but not a paddle I would use.
Sure.
So that's where it's at for me. But my next paddle is the Selkirk Boomstick.
Yeah.
I think it's a great paddle. I like it quite a bit. My biggest complaints, handle, but I can tweak and fix that, so that's not that big of a deal. But the number one complaint about is the edge guard. It hurts my hand so much every time I use it. Like, I genuinely think if I am going to use it for a qualifier, I will take sandpaper or a file and
like
round off that edge guard or flatten it or something, because it literally shreds the skin off my hand.
Sure.
So I might have to go Susanna Barr and put a glove on my left hand.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great paddle, but the edge guard seems to be the complaint for everybody. It comes loose, has issues there. It's cutting my hand up. So
yeah,
it has its issues, but performance, if we're not talking about money and we're just talking about performance, it's a great paddle.
Yeah, for sure. And that was next on my list, so I don't really need to go into it. But yeah, boomstick. I will say, I feel like since it came out, it's probably dropping some spots for me. I think like it's in my top 3 that I would use.
Yeah.
I like the performance of it that much, but after my one edge guard came loose, which is frustrating, especially just since it's like claimed to be fixed and I'm still seeing people's edge guards loose. Like,
that's what's frustrating.
I don't know exactly how widespread it is, but like, I mean, at this PPA, if I see people with a boomstick, you can sure bet I'll be asking. Like, I asked one guy I just played with the other day. He said he's had 3 boomsticks. He's on his 3rd one, and 2 of them were because of edge guards.
That's crazy.
So I'm just like, they say it's fixed, but that's not what I feel like I'm seeing out in the wild. So we'll see at this next PPA. Maybe it's like just all these high-level players shredding up edge guards, but I'm like, I haven't seen an edge guard like problem like this in forever.
It just seems like such an odd problem to have because it hasn't really been a thing for
a long time.
So
yeah, but yeah, I think some of the other options are just getting so good that
and cheaper
that it's like dropping the boomstick a bit.
I also do think it's odd that they're going to keep it as a labs paddle and not make it a part of their main line.
Why? They keep it $333.
Well, that's exactly why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's silly to me.
Yeah. All right, what's your next one?
Next one. Now, this is where you will definitely disagree with me.
I can't wait to hear this. Let me get my boxing gloves ready.
With the Quanta. The Waves.
The
Waves is on my list.
That is the craziest.
Look, I'm sorry you're not good enough to use it. I like it. I think it plays good. I've played a Challenger with it, and I think it's a totally fine paddle. I enjoyed playing with it.
That's just crazy to me. I mean, if you like losing, go for it.
Look, I'll go out there right now. I'll beat you in the backyard of the Waves. Okay? Don't tempt me, kid.
I knew the Waves was going to be on your list, but yeah, it's definitely nowhere near my list.
No.
So here's the question. So first we've had booms. Okay. Here's a great question. Actually, I already know the answer to this. This is a stupid question.
Ask away.
I was going to say if was the Inferno above the Waves, but it's basically a Loco, so of course it's going to be above the Waves.
Yeah, the Inferno would probably be above the Waves now. So it has recently dropped a few spots, but I do think it still makes it'd be on the edge of top 5 now.
Okay.
Definitely top 10 paddles.
Okay.
That's right. It's definitely in there.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll give it to you. Next up for me would be the Luzz Cannon.
Okay.
I've only had one session on this, and that should tell you how good I think this thing is. If I had to go to a tournament, I could do it, and I don't even play elongated paddles right now.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it that much.
You know what you got to do after the Chasing 5-0 series is complete this year?
What's that?
We got to make a video where you go to a tournament, and you take this list of paddles that you have.
And I switch like every game?
No. Well, yes, but we've seen this with GM Golf. They used to do this a long time ago. For anyone watching, if you know that channel, it's one of my favorite YouTube channels. You spin a wheel after every match, and whatever paddle it lands on, your next match, that's what you have to use.
Oh, gosh.
And you mix in like 2 bad options.
I can't work so hard to get my DUPR to where it is, hopefully at 5-0, and then tank it with that. But honestly, I'd probably be fine.
But how awesome would that be?
It would be.
That would be such great content.
That would make for some good content. Maybe one day I'll do it.
So,
yeah,
Luzz Cannon's your next one. Yeah, I totally agree. It's such a good paddle, and Luzz is showing up on my list later, but my next one is the Sypic Avatar.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
I do think it's a good paddle. After hitting it a little bit more, it has started to like slowly shift and change, I feel, and kind of loosen up and is getting closer to a Loco. And I do think I'll probably mess around with the weight setup on it again. Again, this is the biggest, I don't like the handle. It's so square. Like it feels like I'm holding a block, and I just don't like that. But performance-wise, the thing is good. And I'd probably put it right around Waves level now.
Okay.
Before I thought it was like maybe a little below. I'm probably putting it right at level of the Waves.
It's crazy because the Avatar is so much better of a paddle.
That's
what's crazy.
This guy.
Okay. Next on my list would be a Scorpius Pro 4 16 millimeter. I do think it's a good paddle. I've played some tournaments with it. Actually, it was the 14 I used. I think I used the 16 only in one, but I've used the 14 and 16. I think at this point I'd probably choose the 16. I don't think it would be like top of my list for me to take, but I could, and I would like it. I think it's a totally fine paddle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, everyone knows the Pro 4 at this point, so I don't really need to go that deep.
I was going to
into
say good timing because mine was also, I just put Yola Pro 4.
Which one, though? Which shape?
Oh, come on.
You used an Agassi in Florida.
Look, I did use an Agassi in Florida, and I do like that shape, but I would probably lean towards Perseus, even though I do like the Agassi
Your in-person tournament results say otherwise. They say Agassi. Agassi.
Why didn't I bring that? I feel like I had a reason why I didn't bring the
Well,
Perseus.
we didn't have the 16. I had to cut the 16 open.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I do like both, but I probably nowadays would lean more towards the Perseus. But the Agassi, it was good. I just think it's ugly.
Yeah, but it caught on.
So Pro 4 is just, I mean, it's been proven. It's a good paddle.
Yep. Okay, next on my list would be J2NF short handle or long handle. I think both have been solid. I don't have nearly as much time on the long handle as I do the standard handle, short handle, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I still think those are great. Especially, like, to me, let me look at this list. Of this list of paddles, it's probably the easiest. No, I would say almost, I have one more on this list. That's probably about equal. But it's one of the easier power paddles to use. So if I was worried about, like I needed, like, a little bit more control, that's where I feel like the J2NF would slot in.
If it's like the best intro to power.
Yeah.
It's like the beginner power paddle.
To me, with all the power paddles right now, the, like, perfect comparison in my mind is, imagine what the 11624 Power Series was when it came out. That's like what the J2NF is in the, like, current lineup of power paddles. It's like, you have good power. Some people might even find it hard to use because of it, but it's not the Loco, it's not the Boomstick, it's not the Quanta with weight.
Yeah.
But it's got juice if you want it. It's just not too much juice.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Solid paddle.
My next was the Luzz Inferno / Tornazo Cannon, just any of those three paddles, particularly the Inferno. It's just, it's so close to a Loco and being UPA approved that it's just, I find that crazy.
The Inferno is on my list, but now that I, like, really think about it, I'm like, because I have the Loco as an option in a standard shape, I'm like, okay, well, I could take the Inferno, like, if I had to, but I'm like, okay, well, I have a wide body and
you're just not restricted like me.
I am, unrestricted. So, but the Inferno's good. Like, I mean, and that's like, again, I just want to go back to this. Like, that should just tell you kind of how ridiculous and silly this is, that, like, a first impression is enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I'd take that. Yeah.
That is insane. Even for both of us.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get to hit with the Inferno yesterday, but yesterday I played with the Tornazo and the Cannon in high-level games, and they were both great.
Yeah.
Like, again, if I had to go to a qualifier tomorrow, any three of those, I would not complain.
Yep.
So, yeah, just crazy.
All right, I've only got one more on my list. Are you done?
Same. I got one more. That's perfect.
Wow, that was,
look at that.
Pretty much perfect. Okay, last one on my list would probably be the 11624 Alpha Pro Power. I think in this list, let me look.
That's crazy.
I think of this list, it probably would be last on the list, but, like, I know that I could play objectively fine pickleball with it and be, like, totally fine if I had to. Wouldn't be, like, maybe my top list, but I think it's a solid paddle for sure. Like, it's just that I don't think it does anything crazy relative to other paddles these days. And it's nice that it has three shapes. You have the wide body, you have the hybrid, you have the elongated. So yeah, I would say the Alpha Pro Power.
Okay. My next one was the Adidas Metal Ball. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's the VSOL Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
VSOL Pro made my list just because it has so many shape options. I think it's
not that it matters. This guy only needs one shape.
Well, yeah, but I think it's just great that it does have those.
Sure.
But yes, the V7 long handle is the only shape that truly matters. I think it doesn't necessarily need weight, but it plays so much better with weight. I think it's the perfect balance. It's, again, close to Loco-ish realm with weight on it, where it's, like, not insane pop and power and in, like, super fast and springy feel. It's just in that nice middle range of foam paddles right now, and I really liked it. So, yeah, that would be. I'm trying to think what my order would be here. Honestly,
I did have, like, I probably forgot to tell you this, but I was just going to have us go, like, over our top three options. But it's funny because it's only our third option that's going to be different.
Yeah. The bottom of the list would probably be the Pro 4.
For you?
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe not, just because It's UPA certified, so that probably would bump it up over some of the other options. Even though like play wise, I'd like to use them, I can't. So I probably would bump the Pro 4 up higher because it is an option I can actually use.
Yeah.
So mine would probably be Loco, Boomstick, and then it's really tough between Avatar and Waves and Pro 4.
Wait, what about the Inferno?
Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot the Inferno. I was looking at the Inferno would be up there with the Loco.
Yeah, so that
I can't shoot the Loco. I can't even put up there because of the UPA thing. But if it's only UPA paddles, it would be Inferno, Boomstick, and then I'd roll a dice between the Avatar, Waves, and Pro 4.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, my top 3 right now would be Loco, Boomstick, Quanto.
Okay.
That'd be the top 3 that I'd take. So, yeah. Anyways, we just thought it'd be fun to kind of go over some of our favorite paddles right now. I know a lot of people are always curious, like if price wasn't a concern, like you're strictly just going performance. I think that's what I'd take. Hopefully, I didn't miss anything obvious. I did try and look at the studio.
Era is close to my list.
Yeah. Well, I did. I thought about it for my list too.
The Era would be like it just barely missed the list, but it would be close. It would be up there
for sure.
Because if you have the option to play with a Pro 4, I don't really see much of a reason to play with the Era.
Unless like price and like warranty and that stuff comes into factor.
Yeah, but if money doesn't matter, then I don't think I'd really care about the Era much. But if you are on a budget, then the Era is a good replacement for like a Perseus or a Scorpius.
I feel like next week maybe we need to do like this like same type of list, but then it's like you got to spend your money on it. Like, does the
we
list
get a budget
change?
and you have
no, but just literally like if you couldn't get paddles for free, you had to go buy it with your own money. How would the list change? If at all,
I mean, it would probably change.
Yeah, let me look at my list. We'll save it for next week. But yeah. I think my list would still be pretty similar. But anyways, you've made it to the kitchen. Congrats if you made it this far. Let's see how deep we are into the pod so far. We are. Oh, actually, we can't check because
we're around 50 minutes.
All right, I got to go through the kitchen quick.
He's got
it's under an hour.
On it.
I got to go quick. Okay. I wanted to just talk about some lessons I've learned from tournaments. Probably not the most exhaustive list in the world, but I thought for those of you out there who are tournament players, maybe you're newer to tournaments, you might find some stuff in this list helpful. And if you think of anything while we're going, feel free to chime in.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think is really important is figure out what type of player you are and like how do you play your best pickleball? Do you play best when you're loose, relaxed, joking around, like less serious? Which is more so me. Like I can play serious and I like to be serious, but there comes a tipping threshold where if I'm playing too serious, like my skill level will just go down. Like
sure.
I will play better if my partner can keep me loose and kind of laughing about things and not just like, man, I'm gonna like destroy this person. Like I will not play my best if I have that mentality. So knowing, do you play better loose or intense? And I think that will help you in choosing your partners. Because I think knowing that and choosing your partners based around that is really important. Mm-hmm. Like I think I've now learned after playing with both of my partners the last like few tournaments, I'm like, okay, I value the ability for them to play loose and help keep me loose probably way more than I value even skill. Obviously there's a threshold, right? Like it can't be too low on the skill, but like if I had to choose someone who's really good, but super intense and like just insane on the court, like yelling, screaming, like they're angry, like I just wouldn't play.
I agree. I would rather have somebody who's slightly worse in skill but actually matches my energy and vibe on court and I can like mesh with better.
Yeah.
Like don't catch me on court with Riley Newman. Like I is not the type of person I want to be with. Now, we do differ in personalities on court.
Recently, I would say you and I are more opposite.
Recently, you have been getting a lot more hyped and stuff, but you do like to
But I think
joke.
there's like a difference between like hyped and almost like angry. You know, like when people are almost like yelling at the other thing. Like when I feel like I've yelled at a tournament, it's more to like hype me and my partner up versus like you see the PPA, like people literally screaming at the other team. I can't do that.
Like Kate Fahey.
Yeah, I can't
like
do
walking
that.
Towards them.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I can't do that.
I don't think I ever really like walk towards people. Like it's a good point, I will yell and like stare at people. But I don't necessarily like to joke around and laugh and be loose during a tournament. Like I've had partners who are like super mellow and chill and like don't really say much and are just like level-headed. I definitely don't like that.
Sure.
I need somebody to get hyped with me, like be the serious, intense, like, which is great because the next partner I'm playing with for the qualifier in Vegas, we're very similar people on court, very intense, very like hyped, energetic, like we'll match each other well. So I am looking forward to that. But that's kind of more where I'm at. Like it's fine if people are cracking jokes and trying to laugh, but I'm usually, if that's happening, I'm like, no, stop. Like I'm focused. This is like, I have a job to do.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. See, it's funny to me. Like when I get to that point, if I get like almost too focused, it's like when I make a mistake, it like annoys me way more. And then I like tilt faster.
Sure.
But whereas like, I feel like if I'm like loose, I can just like laugh it off and be like, whatever, didn't matter. Like, of course, yeah, you can make a mistake. It's fine. Whereas I feel like I'm like less forgiving on mistakes if I like get super in my head.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking back to some of my best tournament performances and results is when I've gotten like extremely focused. I get hyped during matches. I've had some close ones, really good comebacks. It's when I like really dial in, stop the goofiness. Like I'm super focused.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense. All right. Next one, which I guess this kind of, it goes into the same thing. So maybe it's really not the next one. It's more just an addition, but like finding ways to know yourself to prevent yourself from tilting. Like I said before, for me, I know it's jokes and staying loose. But I think knowing what is likely to set you off and how to avoid that is very important. We've all seen those guys in the tournament. They just completely lose their mental. I mean, I feel like even in my last one on Men's Day, if you guys watched the Chasing 5-0 episode, like my mental was not great on that day. And I like couldn't get myself out of it. I was like too deep in the hole to like pull myself out. My partner couldn't really pull me out.
So what is your thing? What do you do?
It's for sure. I have to stay loose. I won't get to that tilting portion if I can stay loose. Like I need my partner to almost like, if I could tell my partner started like rolling their eyes or something, I'm gone. Like once I know that they don't believe in me anymore, I'm gone.
See, I really like if I'm not doing well, my mental's kind of falling off a cliff in the middle of a match, take a timeout. What I like to do is I need somebody who's really analytical and we will break down what's going on and our strategy, and that will kind of get me out of it. Like thinking through, it's like a puzzle, right? Solving the puzzle, thinking through it, like talking it out. That's what will like get me refocused and dialed back in. Like say I miss a drop in the net and then I hit a drive long, like that'll probably tilt me a little bit. And then, take a timeout, talk things through, figure it out. Like that usually helps me.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, figuring that out for yourself, I think is important, and making your partner aware of it so they can also help you if you can't help yourself. Next up was, related to partners, just being a supportive partner. I think going into a tournament, whoever you're playing with, knowing what helps them play their best and you letting them know what helps you play your best will only benefit both of you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can't imagine like on Men's Day when my partner was trying to help me out and it just wasn't working. I'm sure he's just like, dude, what do you do for this guy? Like, he's just so upset. And so I do think finding ways to be a supportive partner is helpful. Like when I look back at that tournament, I was like, like in a way I was a pretty selfish partner, not finding a better way to get myself out of my head, because then my partner's got to sit there and worry about me instead of worrying about playing. He's like, oh man, like this guy, like, gonna keep tilting, like what can I do to, instead of focusing on like, oh, I'm gonna hit this counter, it's like, if Chris misses this dink, he might implode. So I think finding ways to be a supportive partner is really helpful.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And finding ways to not like, just if you're a raging partner and your partner hates that, like you might want to find a way to cool off so it doesn't tilt your partner. Next up would be eating properly and hydrating properly. Thankfully, I've always done a pretty good job of hydrating, electrolytes, water. My personal favorite electrolyte is Element, LMNT. I think their website is drinklmnt.com.
It's the best.
The citrus salt is definitely the best one.
It's so good.
Not sponsored. They don't work with us. But hey, if anyone at Element ever hears this, bro, sign me up. I've been using your stuff for like 2 years.
I haven't found a hydration pack that I like more.
Yeah,
like, this stuff is just, I will literally drink it just because I think it tastes good. Like middle of the night, like I don't even need it, but I drink it because I just like it.
That's a lot of salt just to drink. Though.
Dude, it's awesome.
It is. Just so you guys know, if you do check it out, it is a lot of sodium. I think it's 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So like, not everyone's gonna need that. There's definitely a demographic that'd be perfect for, but just know that it's got a lot.
If you play a lot, it's great stuff. Good flavors.
Staying hydrated. I mean, we literally just saw a tournament recently, and we told this story, but 2 people in a finals match. Both the 2 people on one team, one guy started cramping. They took a 15 medical timeout. He stopped cramping. They came back to the game. And then his partner started cramping, took a 15 medical timeout. And then after like another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe.
Was trying to play 1v2.
Tried to play 1v2. And then the original guy who started cramping again.
Yeah.
So stay hydrated, because how much would it suck to make it to a finals after a long day, and then you can't even play it because
I've had multiple partners cramp during tournaments. Like I've cramped during tournaments. Like it sucks. Yeah. I don't anymore because of Element. Yeah. Like I haven't cramped during a tournament, and I don't remember how long it's been.
Totally.
So yeah, hydrating is definitely very important.
Yeah, for sure. And same thing with eating. I wouldn't say I'm perfect about this yet, particularly when traveling. I don't have a super awesome solution.
And like PPAs and stuff, it is definitely tricky.
Food is a little trickier, but to me, I now know, at least for local tournaments, if I have a bigger breakfast, heavier on protein and carbs, I will get through a very good portion of the day feeling great. Whereas in the past, if I ate too light, or maybe I didn't have enough protein or carbs, like I definitely like get hungry, and my performance dips a lot when I'm hungry. So knowing what to eat and what fuels me better has helped a lot. So I would find ways to get some good protein and carbs in.
Yeah.
You're going to need it. Tournaments are a long day. If you go deep, they're a very long day.
I mean, now granted, we had a long rain delay, but I'm thinking back to the Dallas tournament. Was it Dallas? Yeah, Dallas tournament that I played with Will. I mean, we started at 8 a.m. and we didn't finish till almost 10 p.m.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a really long day.
Literally the entire day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they go forever sometimes.
Totally. And I will say, in the middle of a tournament, I can be a little bit worse about what I eat, because sometimes I'm like, I know I need food shortly here, and I'm like, whatever's close is probably what I'm going to eat. Like, I don't have the luxury of like, if I'm traveling, hey, here's this perfectly prepackaged meal, so I'm a little worse at PPAs.
I need to get better about eating food in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I don't eat breakfast normally, but if I'm about to go play, I need food. So... yeah, breakfast is a tough one for me.
All right, next one would be register early and on time. I think I've learned this lesson 2 or 3 times. I almost learned it again just very recently. There was a local tournament. Partner signed up. I hadn't signed up yet. I was like, I got plenty of time, whatever. And then we got moved to the waiting list. Thankfully, it was just the automated thing that Pickleball Tournaments does now, where if the partner doesn't register soon enough, you just automatically get bumped to the wait list. Even though it's not full, it's just like, hey, we're not holding the spot for you. So... thankfully, it was fine, but yeah, you should register on time. It would really suck for both you and your partner because you, like, here's the thing. If you know you're going to play, just go register. I've registered late. I've known partners to do it. It's better for everyone if you just get it done.
We've all done it. I've definitely registered for tournaments late.
Yeah.
So,
and all it would take is one bad time of like, you didn't make it in on time, it filled up, and then you're going to be pretty upset. Mm-hmm. So, next one will be arrival time. So if you're going to a PPA, personally, my rule of thumb, minimum hour early.
This is a pet peeve of mine. I gotta be there early.
Wait, what's the pet peeve?
When
like
people are not there early.
Oh.
Like if a partner of mine is like, no, we're fine, and they show up like 15 minutes before, I'm like, dude,
yeah,
what the heck, man?
Because here's the thing, you never know how long the line is going to be at the PPA for like the registration desk. Finding a court to warm up. A lot of people, especially if you have the earliest start time, people get on them quick and early. You might not get a court, or if you're in the middle of the day, you're going to have to court hop a lot. So you're waiting for courts to finish, immediately hopping on, hitting balls for like maybe 5 minutes, hopping off. So like, I would say if you're someone who really needs a lot of warm up or time to get going, probably more than an hour early. But if you have the earliest start time of the day, hour early is
I
usually
prefer
good for me.
Yeah, 1 hour early is what I prefer.
Get warmed up and all that. Local tournaments, I'm a little easier going on that because at least with the court in the backyard, like I can warm up at home, drive to the venue, and then like I'm
speaking particularly for PPAs.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say minimum hour early. Next up, and we're almost done here, keep your phone charged. You're going to need your phone for texts throughout the tournament day, especially if it's a PPA. So if you use your phone for filming games, make sure you bring a battery bank. it would suck to have your phone be dead and not get your text. I have seen people at tournaments who were missing their texts and they got dropped because they didn't show up to the court. So 2 things, actually. 1, pay attention to your text, but even more importantly, if you think it's been a while, like I like to go, I don't know if it's still on the website, I'm pretty sure it is, but there used to be a queue that you could look at, like the order the matches were going in, and I would scroll through that list pretty frequently just to see how close I was. So that way I knew, like, okay, they can't say I was late because I know that my match isn't even up yet. So if somehow you didn't get a text, you still have proof. So stay on top of that. I would definitely do that. Keep your phone
I'm
charged.
kind of paranoid about having my phone on me and constantly looking at it, making sure I'm like not missing a buzz or something, a text or whatever. Yeah, constantly looking at it. Also, note, going back to the hydration thing, just constantly remembering, especially at PPAs, it gets so hot outside sometimes, just remembering to keep the bottle full. Yeah. Like I've had times where I'm like kind of waiting around for a match and it's like, oh shoot, I got to go. And then I get to the match and my bottle's like a quarter of the way to empty. Yep. And I've got no water in the middle of a match. Like that sucks. Yeah.
Keep your water full for sure. The last tip I would have, this one is a big one. Bring a portable chair.
Oh, yeah. Finding places to sit, man.
Some venues are really, really, really bad about having places to sit, and it sucks not having a seat if you got a long day. So there are a ton of portable chair options. I'm really not familiar with all of them. The only one that I know of is from Will, is Click, C-L-I-Q. Those are pretty small. They can fit in a lot of tournament-sized pickleball bags, and it's just very helpful to have something to sit in. One, I wouldn't call it a hack. If anything, it's probably borderline wasteful. So I don't know that I'd recommend this, but it worked in a pinch. I forgot to bring a chair to the U.S. Open, and I just went to a Walmart. I bought a $10 chair and used it for the tournament, carried it around. You know, it's a little bulkier, but it's fine. It at least had a backrest, so it was a little easier to sit in. And then I couldn't fly home with it because it was too big for my bag, so I just stayed in the rental car. So either someone got a free chair or they threw it away. That's the part where I'm like, it's probably a little wasteful.
But for $10.
For $10, it was $10 very well spent.
It's worth.
I would say, like, having the chair at a tournament is very helpful. Some tournaments are perfectly fine. They're great about it, but I wouldn't bank on that.
Most big tournaments and PPAs we've been to have been pretty rough about seating.
Yeah, you're gonna want a chair for sure.
Yeah.
So that's my list of things that I think are really helpful if you're going to a tournament that you'd probably want to be aware of.
Yeah, and the only things I can think of is like I just have like pre-tournament rituals I do of like making sure I've regripped my paddle. I have tons of extra overgrips because my hands sweat an insane amount, and I like to change my grip after every match. And yeah, just making sure you're stocked up on all the consumables in your bag and fruit snacks. Yeah. Gotta have fruit snacks.
Yeah, I just realized something. I was thinking about the word. I realized the whole point of the word is to know who made it to the end of the podcast, and I gave the word away in the middle of the podcast.
I was going to say, yeah, I was thinking about that.
We're changing the word. It's modified now, because now I'll know who only listened to the middle.
True.
Now it's thonky. Thonky. So if I see any IERs, I know who didn't make it to the end of the pod. I know.
All right.
So anyways, thonky. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We will be at PPA Virginia Beach next week, so if you're there, come say hi.
Yeah.
Feel free to, rile Isaac up a little bit and let him know he's going to be bald at the end of the year.
I got all this nice hair.
It's going to be nice and gone by the end of the year when I'm a 5'3", 4".
No shot. Also, I would just like to say this pod is over an hour.
Yeah, that sucks for me. I was wrong again. Weatherman's always wrong.
True.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Peace.